Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to more BlizzCon action. This is the Losers Bracket Finals here. Game 1 is on Shakura's Plateau, and spawning is the green Protoss up in the top left. We have Complexity's Naniwa, and his opponent spawning in the top right is the Taiwanese Zerg player. Spawning in red, it is Gamma Bear's Sin. Now, these players had to go through some pretty tough opponents in the Losers Bracket semis. I believe Sin had to go up against Select, which were some very good games, and Naniwa had to go up against Damaga, which were also very good games. And Naniwa, oh hey! Naniwa's Forge fast expanding. Naniwa clearly believes this is the superior build in PvZ, so he has been doing it every single game that he's played against a Zerg in this tournament. Now we've seen Sin do a lot of stuff. Sin can be very variable in his playstyle, but the only thing that doesn't vary is his skill. He is very good at anything he does, and we'll have to see if he can take out Naniwa in this. Naniwa is technically the last foreign hope in this tournament, but you could some consider Sin a foreign player. I like to consider him a foreign player because, well, he's really good, and from the foreigner scene, so obviously I'd like to claim him. Doesn't necessarily mean I get to claim him, but that's not the point. We'll have to see whether Naniwa wants to throw down a Forge first or a Nexus first. We've actually even seen a Gateway first from Naniwa, I believe, one time into some Zealots, but I don't really remember if that was whether I'm remembering correct or if I'm just a moron. And it looks like, what are we gonna get here? Nexus first. Should have been able to see that by the minerals up there. That was clearly going to be a Nexus first. And now this probe is gonna sit here and wait for 150 and then build a good pylon down here, blocking off the expansion from Sin. Sin did go pool first though, so it's not too big of a deal for Sin. But still, it's annoying to not be able to expand when you want to. We do have... wait. Sin actually did an extractor trick to get up to 20 supply, a double extractor trick. I've never really seen it that late before. But okay, Sin finally does get that down after some shenanigans by Naniwa. These Zerglings could probably just turn around and kill that probe, but it looks like they are just going to go ahead and push in. We saw a gateway before cannon, so the gateway was made, and now the cannon's going down. And these Zerglings, okay, these Zerglings are going to trail off and get the probe. You don't want that probe throwing down any nasty proxy proxy pylons, rather. Nexus just now completing for Naniwa, so he'll just continue to chrono boost out probes as fast as he possibly can. We've seen a lot of Stargate behind this from Naniwa. What he will have to do is get this Overlord here out of his base before he does any of this tomfoolery with the Stargates and Void Rays and such. Sin still no gas, so it looks like he sees it and he's gonna expand again most likely. Here comes a drone, so he's probably gonna expand right here. Very smart here. Zerg players are really starting to do this a lot, to the point where we see some pro players, like your Hucks, like your Killers, like your Sages and Oz's, every now and then actually not going for Forge Fast Expands, because it does just allow a Zerg to get up that third base very quickly. And it's hard to beat that economy. The whole point of a Forge Fast Expand build is to get a very quick economy. But what a Zerg taking this third base here does is it negates all the good parts about getting a Forge Fast Expand and having a better economy, because the Zerg is just able to pump out just as many drones as you are probes because of the extra bases. So I think we will slowly start to see the Forge Fast Expand it will never go away because it is a very solid build, but I believe we'll slowly start to see it fade off a little bit. It won't be used every single time a Protoss player faces a Zerg. And let's see what we're looking at here with the workers. Yeah, we do see Sin ahead on workers right now. Chrono boosting out that warp gate research and chrono boosting out +1. This is definitely one of Naniwa's favorite builds that he has practiced over and over again. We've seen him come out with it several times at the tournament so far, to varying degrees of success. 3 gateways are going to come up, and after these gateways come up, we'll see potential stargates coming down. He gets those 3 gateways up so he can have a force in case of a heavy roach bust. So it just allows him to be a little bit safer. We do have the 3rd queen coming up, and we'll have to see if he builds a queen here or if he walks one over. 3rd hatch though is up. And that zealot is getting in. Let's see, did he kill any? No, he didn't kill any workers. It's just there to look pretty. And this 3rd queen will start to move over. There's 7 drones being made for Sin. He is getting up a lot of drones. Yeah, he has a 10. Oh, there's 13 drone lead on Naniwa. Very impressive from Sin. Completely negating the advantage that Naniwa gets from this Forge Fast Expand. But +1 is up. Warp gate is done. Warp gate's morphing in now. Roach Warren coming up for Sin. We have seen him really favor the roaches in all matchups. And looks like Naniwa is going to do a little push here with some sentries and some zealots. Probe going with it probably for an aggressive pylon. Pretty good creeps right here from Sin. Just going to try to connect the 3rd to the rest of his bases as soon as he possibly can. Roach Warren just now finishing up. 20 Zerglings about to pop. 2 spine crawlers being made. Where are they? Are they at the 3rd or are they in the middle of the map? Okay, so they are at the 3rd for a little backdoor defense. Pylon now morphing in. Aggressive pylon. 2 stargates coming in for Naniwa. And yeah, we are going to see that heavy stargate play. What Naniwa has been tending to do is open up with 6 void rays and then go into phoenixes. But he could very well do something else. Zerglings, good force fields here out in the middle of the map, picking off some Zerglings. But what Naniwa does like to do, as Sin does now see these stargates just as they finish up, is Naniwa likes to go void rays and phoenixes to try to force hydras. And once the hydras are out, then he, with this robo that's coming in, is he throws on a robotics bay and then goes into Colossus, so that when his opponent is on a heavy hydra mix, the Colossus just come in and just melts everything. Not even a metaphor there, they actually melt the Hydralis. The Hydralis catch on fire and fall down to the ground. Sin now 19 workers ahead and a base ahead, which is where you want to be as a Zerg. We have seen Naniwa several times during this tournament. After he Forge Fast expands, he gets stuck on this 2nd base. He can sometimes find it hard to take a 3rd base. Some spores coming up now, being that Sin did scout that Stargate play, so is just getting it up just in case. The 2 Void Rays making their way across the map with 2 more in production. Robotics Bay going down, so we will see after these Void Rays some Colossus most likely. And we'll have to see what Naniwa can do damage-wise with these Void Rays. There are a good amount of spores in Sin's base, but still and he is getting up a Hydralis Den as well. So it looks like Naniwa has successfully forced Sin to go Hydras, and he will be able to go into some Colossus, and so he will have the slight advantage there. Queen coming over. Can he pick off one of these Void Rays? Another Queen, 3rd Queen coming over, 4th Queen coming over. That Spore Crawler does get up, and oh, 5 health Void Ray. The other 2 Void Rays now coming to join and reinforce, and 2 more Void Rays on the way, so he's going to go up to that 6 Void Rays. Robotics Bay about to finish up Spire on the way for Sin. Sin, have we seen him go Mutas? I'm not sure if we've seen him go Mutas against a Protoss yet, but No, he won't do it for Mutas. He's probably seen the games and knows that he's going to come up with Colossus next. He probably knows that Naniwa is going to go ahead and make these 6-footers and then go into Colossus. I'm going to give Sin the benefit of the doubt, being that he is an extremely good player and he's very smart as well. Will any of these Void Rays go down? 4 queens. Okay, so the hull damage though, taking on 2 more Void Rays. So that's not very good, and Sin is now taking his 4th base. Spire halfway done, Groove Spine about to finish, Melee 1 on the way for our Zerg player Sin. Thermal Lance on the way, and first Colossus is almost done for Naniwa. Looks like he's going to push out on this map. This force is mainly Sentries and Zealots. But, ooh, he does force a cancel on that 3rd. That is huge. We've seen Naniwa get stuck on 2 bases so often. And Sin not really paying attention there for a second. Naniwa able to do some good damage, but when Naniwa gets stuck on 2 bases, the game usually ends at around 18 to 19 minutes with a Zerg player on 4 to 5 bases and Naniwa being stuck on 2. But it looks like with these cannons he's warping in here, could do some good damage. Spire just now finish up for Sin. Both gases are already up here. Sin is going to need a lot of gas, and he knows it. So he's very intelligently getting the gases on that, and he is saturating the gases first. He is now posturing outside. 1 Colossus is up, 2nd Colossus on the way, Thermal Lance on the way as well. There are some Hydras here, a couple Roaches, and ooh, we have an engagement, but he does see the Colossus now, so he does definitely know the Colossus are there. 13 Mutas on the way, so he is going to go Mutas. Mutas are quite good actually against Naniwa's force right now, with a very heavy Zealot force, and with the Colossus, Mutas can be extremely good. And with the fact that Protoss, when they build up that Death Ball, they have to keep it together. It makes Mutalisk Harass extremely powerful. You just can sweep in the back and do a lot of damage, and the Protoss have to waste Warpins in the back there, as opposed to in the front, strengthening the Death Ball. But a Flyer 1 on the way, another Colossus on the way, Thermal Lance just now finishing up, 3rd Nexus now finishing up just now for Naniwa. More and more Mutalisks. Sin getting up a very good amount of Mutas. He's got 16 Mutas up right now, 40 Zerglings, 11 Hydras. He just have 78 drones right now. He is going to sweep in, and let's see, he's going to go straight for the probes, it looks like. How much damage can he do? Twilight Council just came in for Naniwa. Probably going to see some charge or blink. But these Mutas doing some very good damage. 22 Zerglings about to pop out for Sin. Wow, Sin playing very well. Carapace 1 started. 2nd Evo Chamber on the way as well. Is going to pump out some upgrades a lot more quickly. 4 more Mutas on the way. Sin is going into a very heavy Muta comp right now. They're not all clumped up, but he does now have 21 on the field. It's extremely... It's a very high amount, and ooh, the Twilight Council does go down. No blinker charge for you, says Sin, and these Void Rays are going to push these Mutas out, and wow, very good job there by Sin to pick that off, and oh, a little push in here, but good force fields and a lot of Colossus will rip up any type of Hydra Ling that tries to force in there. 7 more Mutas on the way. Sin! Oh my goodness, Sin. Sin is going into a very high amount of Mutas. There's 23 on the map right now, and he does have 7 on the way. So 30 Mutas. That is a potential critical mass of Mutas. Could be able to come up here and do a lot of damage. These Void Rays are here though, but with... Oh, that's a lot of Phoenixes as well. Big air battle up here in the main of Sin. 1 Void Ray does go down, and oh, Sin... It looks like Sin's actually shooting at the probes. He's trying to kill the probes of Naniwa, but oh, he does push back, and ooh, a couple Phoenixes going down. Oh, Sin. Sin is going to have to get out of there soon. He's losing a lot of Mutas. Just throwing away Mutas. Does take out a 3rd Void Ray. There's now 2 Void Rays left. And, ooh, Sin. 5 Corruptors on the way as well to help deal with that. Banelings on the way. Roach Speed on the way. 3 more Mutas on the way. Twilight Council coming back in for Naniwa. And Sin. I'm not sure if that was necessarily an effective harass there. Sin did lose a lot of mutas, and we see now he is down in the resources loss supply. That is, wow, that is impressive there. But he is now up to 79 drones against the 63 of Naniwa, which means Naniwa will be able to have a little bit bigger army. But Sin can max very quickly, being on 4 bases with a macro hatch. And ooh, looks like Naniwa could want to push pretty soon. He is posturing out in the middle of the map. 8 roaches on the way for Sin, and this Twilight Council about to finish up again for Naniwa. Did have to rebuild that, so he does not have any blink or charge right now. His upgrades are still 1-1, while Sin's are 1-1 on the ranged units and 1-1 on the melee units. And ooh, these Phoenixes, Corruptors and Mutas able to push back the minor air assault there by Naniwa, and it looks like a little drone out here on accident there by Sin. But ooh, Naniwa's gonna sweep in, and he's gonna see if there's a base here. I think he was expecting there to be a base here, but he's gonna sweep around from the side, and we could have our engagement here. This could be a huge engagement. Could be game deciding here. Ooh, and he kills that spine crawler. Good force fields from Naniwa, and ooh, here comes the air force from Sin, and ooh, he does pick off 1 Colossus. Can he get another one? Can he get another Colossus? That's gonna be big. Can he get a second Colossus down? Trying to do Naniwa microing first life, trying to kill as many mutas as possible. Will he be able to kill his 3rd Colossus down? No more Colossus for Naniwa. Sin will be able to get in there with the Hydras and do a lot of damage if he needs to. But oh, he is pushed back, and Naniwa pulls back. And that was very good for Sin there. He was able to pick off all the Colossus, 18 roaches on the way, a 5th base on the way. Sin looking in a very good position here. Blink about halfway done from Naniwa. But with that many Blink Stalkers, Naniwa could do a lot of damage, especially with ground weapons 2 on the way. Naniwa here, it seems like it'll come down to micro. If Naniwa can micro effectively, use good force fields, use Blink as effectively as possible, make those Stalkers cost efficient, he could win this game. We do have an Infestation Pit going down now for Sin, and a Templar Archive going for Naniwa. It'll be interesting to see whether he tries to get Storm on those High Templar, or if he's just doing it for Archons. But that Infestors, will we see Infestors, or will we see that just for the Hive Tech? We do have all the level 2 attack upgrades, and oh, we do have another engagement here, and no Colossus this time. The Hydra's being able to do a lot of damage here. Roach is tearing them up, Hydra's tearing them up, but Naniwa does have a lot of units there, and ooh, it looks like the Corruptor's able to take out the Void Rays. They do need to start targeting out the Void Rays. The Queen is in there, and Sin is though just remaxing. 20 Hydralisks being made during this fight for Sin, so he will be able to do a lot of damage. Naniwa using Blink Stalker Micro, save some Stalkers at the front, but oh my god, Sin is going to have a huge army, and Naniwa is losing a ton of units right now, and it looks like Sin will be in a very good position to take this game relatively soon. It has a huge bank as well. And oh, we do see Naniwa does realize that he's does have to push back here. But how is the mining going? We do have Sin on 1, 2, 3 mining bases with the potential for a 4th. Naniwa looks like he's going to push out here again. But Naniwa he's almost mined down his main. So ooh, we do have a pretty good engagement here. Hydra's doing a lot of damage. Hydras have so much DPS. They do around as much DPS as a stemmed Marine, which is a lot if you've ever played against a Terran opponent. But those Hydras do push that force back, and if they can just delay until these +2 upgrades are out for everything, Sin will be able to sweep in and just win the game. Hive now just being started for Sin. Immortals on the way for Naniwa. Very good spine crawler push here for Sin. He's going to try to limit the surface area there for Naniwa. But ooh, we do have a good push in here. Naniwa with a great concave though. This is never a spot where you want to try to push in. The push in here, there's a huge area here, small choke here. Whoever is controlling the army that's at this point will always have a better concave, will always be able to have more units shooting at a time, and will win most of the time. Passage and Glands upgrade being done now for Sin, so it looks like Sin will be going Infestors. He is not going just for the Hive. Ooh, and we do have Storm now on the way for Naniwa. So Storm is actually very good against Hydras. Hydras are very slow, especially if you can catch them off creep. so they can't micro out of Storm very well. So you can Storm can do full damage, and that is a lot versus Hydras. And we do see now Sin pretty much stops mining in his natural, is almost stopped mining in his main, and he is mining on that base, and that base. So he's still mining on 3 bases now. Whereas Naniwa has 1 base up, 1 base about to be mined out, and 1 base that is pretty much mined out. Naniwa is going to need to win fairly quickly or try to take a 4th. But Sin here with very good control of the middle. It wouldn't surprise me to see Sin go ahead and take a 6th base soon. Might as well with that huge bank, but he does want that bank to be able to remax after this attack. But that is, with those Zealots, if those Zealots can get out in the front and he can effectively use Storm, Naniwa has a very good chance of winning this game. It'll all come down to a final battle here. Greater Spire on the way, with Burrow finally now being researched, and who will get the better concave? But with Blink, it doesn't necessarily matter about the concave because anything in the front can be blinked back by Naniwa. But a couple being picked off in the little minor skirmishes there before the main battle. And Naniwa is going to need to go ahead and try to push in here before the Greater Spire gets up. If Sin can get a bunch of Broodlords, that would be way too powerful for Naniwa to handle, in my opinion. But he doesn't quite pick up a Stalker there, but those Stalkers are not... There are a lot of injured Stalkers in that group, so it's not necessarily... What would that be? 24 plus 16, so it's 41 Stalkers. I could have just looked here on the unit tab. But yes, 41 Stalkers. Naniwa now sweeping in. We could have our engagement here. This is not where you want to engage. You don't want to engage on that choke if you're Naniwa. But ooh, big fungal there. Great fungal there by Sin. Just getting some good damage on there. Damage for energy. And ooh, Storm going down. And that does a lot of damage to Sin. And this is just an army of... an instance where it is a large army against a large army, an almost maxed army against an almost maxed army. But I believe Sin has, and oh, it looks like Naniwa is going to push in there, but Sin does have more workers, so it does mean that Naniwa has a little bit bigger army. These cannons here are doing a little bit of free damage, and Sin now pushing out on the middle map, could use this opportunity to take out those spine crawls. Good fungal there, doing a little bit of free damage, but should only be on the shields there, but he is going to be able to take out these spine crawls. Sin is coming back now with those Hydras and Roaches, and ooh, the Greater Spire is about to finish up. And oh, great storms there by Naniwa. Phenomenal storms, doing so much damage to these Hydralisks. But Sin is making 20 Roaches now to reinforce, and a bunch of Zerglings as well. But Naniwa losing a lot of army. It looks like Sin could... It looks like he's just going to remax very quickly, and it'll come down to the battle after this. It looks like Naniwa is going to win this battle, but can he win the war? Sin is now remaxed, 7 Broodlords on the way, 16 Roaches about to pop, 58 Zerglings. Sin looking to be in a very good position here soon. These Stalkers from Naniwa, several Archons after the storms being used. And oh, Naniwa doing some pretty good blink micro. But once those 7 Broodlords get in, Naniwa could be in some serious trouble. Engagement here going on. Zerglings coming in, getting some good damage on the Stalkers. It's not necessarily about this fight. Sin is trying to distract them as much as possible because here come the Broodlords for Sin. 7 Broodlords. Naniwa is in a world of hurt here. 7 Broodlords in. Roach is now pushing him back. Naniwa, 60 supply down, and Naniwa could be in trouble. I would say expect GG here any moment from Naniwa. He trying to take a 4th, and he does there. He leaves the game. Just a G from Naniwa because he was so trying to get out of there so fast. But great game there from Sin, taking game 1 from Naniwa. We'll have to see what can happen in game 2. With Sin looking so good, though, I don't know if Naniwa will be able to come back here. But as always, leave a like rating if you liked it. Leave me a comment, tell me what I can do better, all that good stuff. But I do have now all the rest of the games recorded, so I just got to go through and edit them all. I do these little wrap-ups afterwards because I have to do them in editing so I know how long to make these after screens. But so hopefully you guys join me for game 2, and I'll hope to see you then. And goodbye for now.